verse 16, உள்ளது 40 அனுபந்தம், supplement to 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. சித்தத்தின் சாந்தியதே சித்தமா முத்தியனில், சித்தத்தின் செய்கையின்றி சித்தியா சித்திகளில் சித்தம் சேர்வார் எங்கன், சித்த கலக்கம் தீர் முக்தி சுகம் தோய்வார் மொழி. Peace is liberation. Peace is mukti, jivan mukti, being liberated while living in the body. This being so, how can those people who aspire for occult powers, how can they remove the perturbation of the mind and become still and realize themselves unless they give up this desire for occult powers? Because this occult powers happens at the psychological domain, at the mental domain. One has to use one's mind, do japa, mantra, utterance of mantra, etc. in order to acquire these powers. Even if you acquire these powers, Shri Bhagavan says it is very bad, you will get stuck. He says even if incidentally you happen to acquire powers, in another place he says, even if you incidentally happen to acquire powers, you should shun them because you will get stuck. So, this verse talks about the clarity in thinking, the intellectual honesty as to what is it that I am really looking for. What is it that the Upanishads are saying, the Jnanis are saying? They are saying Tattvamasi, that thou art. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. I am infinite existence, infinite consciousness and infinite bliss. That is fundamentally formless, all pervading, all percolating, yet going beyond the entire universe. Such is the nature of realization. One has to shut down the faculty of ego, ahankara. Ahankara or ego, here it means the bodily sense of I. If we continue to entertain thoughts, which means we are retaining our identity as the body, that is the fundamental error, that is the avidya, moola avidya, that is the root ignorance. So we need to be very careful when it comes to spiritual pursuit, because a lot of people get tempted by the possibility of acquiring spiritual powers. You can do many things with the acquisition of powers. It comes along on the way when you do pranayama, etc. A lot of people can sit, close their eyes and see someone else in a far off place. They can hear what is running in their mind and etc. There are several such powers, as I already mentioned. Through utterance of mantra japa, you can make somebody immobile, you can kill somebody, etc. These are all negative things in the spiritual domain. One should be wary of, one should avoid at any cost, because those who aspire and go for such powers will get stuck incidentally. For n number of births, they'll get stuck. These are all called yoga brashtas. Yoga brashtas are those people who, along the way to attaining one's true nature, get some powers and get carried away. If whatever they wanted in the physical domain starts happening, they feel satisfied with it and they do not move. The primary gods said to be in Hinduism, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. In this, Brahma and Vishnu, he says, are also people who are stuck at a particular level of bliss. They have not gone further and completed the project, he says. Shiva is said to be that state which is Brahman. That's all. It is just a name. We don't have to imagine a person as described in many pictures. These pictures, idols, etc. are just a help for those people who are at that psychological level where they need something to hold on to. They need some physical form to think of God. In Advaita Vedanta, formlessness is the fundamental description of Brahman. There is the segregation between self and the non-self, spirit and matter. Of course, Sri Bhagavan says it is spirit fundamental spirit which appears as both spirit and matter, he says. So we need to do discrimination between what is self, what is non-self, what is spirit, what is matter. Everything in the universe is matter, including our body, mind. If we want to extricate ourselves from the cycle of birth and death, we need to analyze what is it that I really am, what is it that I really am not. In this discrimination, continuous practice of this discrimination leads us to realization. As I already mentioned, Shankara says, if you continuously think that I am Brahman, not this body, this will remove the ignorance the way medicine removes illness in the body, he says. So, this Vivekam, what is called Vivekam, is nothing but discrimination. Discrimination not in the normal psychological sense, racial discrimination, gender discrimination, etc. Discrimination fundamentally means discerning, seeing one thing as different from the other. A man is not a woman, right? A tree is not a fish is not a monkey, and so on. Two separate things. The same way Atma and the universe are two separate things. Later, once we realize, we will know that there is nothing apart from the self. It is the one self which appears as the entire universe, including your body. Through this mechanism of connecting the body with the spirit, what is called Upadhi is created. Upadhi is extra fitting. This body can be said to be an extra fitting in consciousness screen. And we remain stuck with this identification for lifetimes. We do not move beyond. If we do not inquire, Shankara says, and Sri Bhagavan has translated, so long as, for how long you do not do this analysis as to who I am, everything in the universe will look to be solid and real. But once you do vicharam, once you inquire and find out the true, the reality, you will see that they all disappear, including the body. Sri Bhagavan says, at some point you will get bodilessness. When you close your eyes, only one thing will exist, that is formless, and that percolates everything and yet remains untouched. That vast existence consciousness bliss, formless existence consciousness bliss, am I or you. This is the definition. So we should not get carried away because of the survival pressure. We may get tempted that, oh, how good would it be if I got spiritual powers. You get some spiritual powers, you enjoy it, you are done, because you will not move out of it. So we should have the courage, intellectual courage, to shun all these things. Sri Bhagavan says, you are already Brahman, ever Brahman, shining forth as the daytime sun. But if you think you are still identified with the body, it is because you lack the strength of mind, he says. Yes. So this is for this, even Upanishad says, this Atma cannot be attained or obtained by those people who do not have the strength of mind. So we need to think about it constantly. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is said to be the method. Hearing the truth again and again, then reflecting over it. What is it they are saying? Why is it they are saying? When Sri Bhagavan says, the meaning of the word I that utter refers to Brahman, not to this body, he says. We may think, I am the body. We may stop with it. That becomes the ceiling. Now you need to drill into the ceiling and inquire, am I this body alone? Because Sri Bhagavan says, I am this body, mind, and all else. What is that all else? I am universal consciousness, which includes this body, mind also, which means you can be aware of the entire existence. No distance, no space, everything is contained in me, the one Atma. He said in Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram, Tanai Urvana Eva Ner Kanban. When you realize your true nature, you will see that I alone am without a second. That is what non-duality. No two things at all. The multiplicity, the variety, all human beings, animals, stars, plants, etc. are none but me, the Brahman Atma. Is that the permanent truth? Yes. Is there room for doubt? No. How? N number of rishis have experienced the truth and they have expounded. They have said, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. This truth is not going to change at all. Only thing is, we have to stop thinking that I am the body. What is the method? We need to inquire whenever a thought arises, we need to inquire to whom is this thought. We'll get an answer from the mind to me. Who is that I? Which is causing the birth of this I. Something else is acting as this bodily sense of I. What is that? What is it? Which is the birthplace. And Sri Bhagavan says, உதித்த இடத்தில் ஒடுங்கி இருத்தல் அது கண்மும் பக்தியும் முந்திபெற யோக ஞானமும் முந்திபெற. All the four paths are nothing but, none but being established in our true nature, or being established or staying put in the place at which thoughts are born. Of all the thoughts, the root thought is I am the body thought. So search for it. The way a person who dives into the sea in order to acquire pearls, you need to control your breath and thought and then dive deep into yourself and stay there at the source of thought. If we remain continuously over a period of time, we will see that we shine forth as Brahman Atman. So we should not get tempted and carried away by the desire to acquire spiritual powers. We have to be wary of, even if something happens, so-called miraculous things, just keep it aside. Again inquire to whom is this manifestation, to whom is this miracle. Then we'll continue with the same method. To me, who am I? What is my true nature? Awareness is said to be our ultimate nature. Awareness. All objects are in the universe. All objects in the universe are none but objects of awareness. We are the awareness. Everything else is being reflected on the awareness mirror that we are. So we need to bring about peace. Siddhatin Sandhyade Siddhama Muddhiyanil. Only peace can bring us liberation. We have to keep our mind still for as long as possible, for as many days as possible, till we acquire this true nature, our true nature, which is liberation. Let us think about it.